Probably most of you had this moment. Let's say you're in a subway and you're going back home, and you're standing in front of the door waiting to get off. And as the subway is stopping, suddenly a random ajashi just slides in front of you and stands between you and the door as if he wants to kiss the door. What would you feel like? Well, I would feel like this. Well, aren't you educated? Why are you so selfish? Why do you always have to be the first? Wouldn't you feel that way? But if you felt that way, guess what? You guys all did the same thing too. Because some weeks ago, in the beginning of the class, when Max told you guys to put your names on the whiteboard, what I saw was just all of you unanimously rushing to the whiteboard. And basically, in principle, that is exactly the same as the subway behavior, in that there's no care for others, and we just do whatever is good for us. Then why do we act like this when we hate others when they do it? And I find the answer goes all the way down to the severe competition of our society. And probably one of the most evident example for us being college students would be the course enrollment. You know, when the clock hits 10, we go crazy and hit the button, and boom, when this pops up, then we're doomed, right? And also we had a speech about the curve grading system, of course, in which we were systematically trained to step over our friends to be better students, right? So what would be the result of this severe competition? As a result, we're being taught slowly to think, in order to survive, maybe it's okay not to care for others. And we get to slowly focus only on ourselves. But this only happens unnoticing, because at first, we're choosing in small, tiny bit okay moments. But we have to realize that those okay moments will eventually dictate what we act like in crucial moments. And that is why we have to practice other-orientedness. We have to practice other-orientedness in daily lives. We really got to train ourselves to care for others in small, tiny moments so that we won't make crucial, terrible mistakes in crucial moments. So from now on, let me give you a short thought experiment. Can I give it to you? Okay, let's start from a tiny situation again. The whiteboard again. If you're given the second chance, let's say we have the second final speech or whatever, and Max tells you the same thing. Would you rush to the whiteboard again?
No.
You could, yes or no. The choice is totally up to you. You have the absolute freedom to choose either. Let's try something else then. We use the subway every day, right? So let's say in the morning you're late for a class. So you're getting off the subway at Weda Station. And as you rush to the stairs, suddenly you see a person getting stuck between the closing doors. This happens pretty often. So what would you do? Would you help that guy?
Yeah.
Or because you're late, would you just run to the class?
No.
What if you get point deductions for being late?
I'm already late.
And what if you're to give a presentation in the class?
I can explain.
Okay, then. Thirdly, accidents happen anytime, anywhere, right? And one of the example for us would be the street signals. Those that we experienced several times, many times in recent years in this city. As you can see from the video clip, it just happens totally unexpected, in a second, out of nowhere. So, I feel guilty for doing this to you guys. So let's say you're late for a class again, but this time you're running from the Weda station to the campus. So while you're running on the street, suddenly a guy next to you falls into a sinkhole. What would you do? Would you stop to give that person a help and call the 911?
Yeah, of course.
Or would you just pass by? You wouldn't.
No.
So, okay, what about disasters? Last week we had speeches about earthquakes in Korea right now, all right? So let's say right now we have an earthquake right now in this classroom, and everybody has to evacuate. So walls are shaking, the projectile falls down, and everything goes wobbly, and you rush outside the classroom, and you discover one of your classmates, or Max, or whomever, stuck inside the classroom, in need of help. Would you turn around and come back into the classroom?
Yes.
Risking your own safety?
Yes.
Maybe your own life?
I say yes, but like... But who knows?
If it's Max, yeah.
You don't know.
What if it's your classmate? No? Yeah, but again, you have the total freedom to choose either of these. There are no answers for these. But what would happen to our society if we do not practice other-orientedness daily? I'm afraid I would have to pull one of the deadliest human-made disasters as an example for this. When the ship was down, two different groups showed shockingly different reactions. And yes, I'm talking about the Sewol ferry disaster. On April 16, 2014, a ferry named Sewol was carrying over 400 passengers. Most of them were high school students. And at some point in the middle of the sea, it just sunk, causing more than 300 casualties. It's crazy, isn't it? And this disaster left us with two different numbers, 100 and 21. Can you guess what they are? Exactly. These are the survival rate of two different groups who were on board that day. The 100 goes to the shipping crewmen, and 21 goes to the teachers. So what happened? According to a Joseon News article written by Bonam on May 2014, when the ship was going down, the crewmen, including the captain, just evacuated first, leaving all the other passengers inside the ferry. And they even told the passengers to stay inside.
What?
But the teachers, they were staying even closer to the emergency exit, but they just ran downstairs to evacuate the students, shouting to the students to evacuate. So let me ask you, what would have happened if the captain and the crewmen were other-oriented?
What people would say?
Then what would you have done if you were one of the crewmen?
Save people.
And which type of person would you, between the crewman and the teacher type, which type of person would you like to have as your friend, your colleague, your boss, and even your leader? And which type of person would you want to be to those around you today? So here at this point, there's something we got to realize. Yes, other-orientedness is not something that anyone could have, because it takes confidence and courage and bravery to practice it. Sometimes that goes as far as to even risking our own lives, as the teachers did. Right? So the question would be then, who can possibly be that much confident and brave? And the answer to this question would be always I, not you. It is always, we cannot point to others in this kind of matter. And it is possible if and only if we start from these small moments, where we only need small amount of confidence that we can afford right now. So at the end of the day, it's all positive. It's all about hope. Because if we start practicing other-orientedness from small moments, then we are truly able to be other-oriented people. Thank you very much.
That was fantastic.